Lifelong education. Which of the following best describe the concept of andragogy? Options: the art and science of teaching children, the study of adult learning processes, a pedagogical approach for teenagers, the theory of distance education. Answer of this question is option B, that is the study of adult learning processes. Next, in the context of lifelong learning, what does the term self-directed learning primarily refers to? Option: learning without any external guidance, studying only topics of personal interest, taking responsibility for one's own learning process, avoiding formal educational institutions. Answer of this question is option C, that is taking responsibility for one's own learning process. Next, which of the following is not typically considered one of the four pillars of learning as defined by UNESCO? Option: learning to know, learning to do, learning to live together, learning to compete. Answer of this question is option D, that is learning to compete. Next, the concept of transformative learning in adult education is most closely associated with which theorist? Option: Malcolm's, Knowles, Knowles, Jack Mezirow, Paul Fiore, David Kolb. Answer of this question is option B, that is Jack Mezirow. Which of the following best describes the Matthew effect in lifelong learning? Option: the tendency for religious education to increase with age, the accumulation of learning advantages over time, the preference for practical skill over theoretical knowledge, the decline in learning ability as one ages. Answer of this question is option B, that is the accumulation of learning advantages over time. Next, in the context of lifelong learning, what does the term digital divide primarily refer to? Option: the gap between online and offline learning resources, the difference in computer skill between generation, in inequalities in access to digital technologies and the internet, the separations between digital natives and digital immigrants. Answer of this question is option C, that is inequalities in access to digital technologies and the internet. Next, which of the following is not a key characteristic of a learning organization? Option: as described by Peter Senke. Option: systematic thinking, personal mastery, mental models, competitive advantage. Answer of this question is option D, that is competitive advantage. The concept of situated learning, emphasizes, emphasizes the importance of some learning in isolation to avoid distraction, acquisitions knowledge, acquiring knowledge in the context where it will be applied, studying abroad to gain international perspective, focusing on theoretical knowledge before practical application. Answer of this question is option B, that is acquiring knowledge in the context where it will be applied. Next, which of the following best describes the zone of proximal development in the context of lifelong learning? Option: the ideal age range for adult education, the gap between what a learner can do without help and with guidance, the physical environment most conducive to learning, the maximum number of skills an adult can learn simultaneously. Answer of this question is option B, that is the gap between what a learner can do without help and with guidance. The Bhark model in learning style refers to visual, auditory, reading, writing, and kinesthetic preferences, verbal, analytical, reflective, and kinetic approaches, vocational, academic, recreational, and kinship learning, virtual, augmented, real world, and kinesthetic environment. Answer of this question is option A, that is visual, auditory, reading, writing, and kinesthetic preferences. Next, which theory proposes that adults are motivated to learn as they experience need and interest that learning will satisfy? Option: self-determination theory, andragogy, behaviorism, cognitive load theory. Answer of this question is option B, that is andragogy. The concept of heutagogy extends beyond andragogy by emphasizing option teacher-centered learning, self-determined learning, structured curriculum design, age-specific learning strategy. Answer of this question is option B, that is self-determined learning. Which of the following is not one of no Knowles' assumption about adult learners? Option: adults are self-directed. Adults bring life experiences to learning situation. Adults are primarily motivated by external rewards. Adults are problem-centered in their learning. Answer of this question is option C. That is, adults are primarily motivated by external rewards. The forgetting curve concept introduced by Hermann Ebbinghaus suggested that learning is most effective immediately before sleep. Memory retention declines over time when there is no active recall. Adults forget faster than children. Visual information is retained longer than auditory information. Answer of this question is option B. That is, memory retention decline over time when there is no active recall. Which learning theory emphasizes the importance of observing and modeling the behaviors, attitudes, and emotional reaction of others? Option: constructivism, behaviorism, social cognitive theory, experiential learning theory. Answer of this question is option C, that is social cognitive theory. Next, the flipped classroom model in lifelong education primarily involves option reversing the role of teachers and students, studying advanced concepts before basic ones, completing homework in class and lectures at home, learning practical skill before theoretical knowledge. Answer of this question is option C, that is completing homework in class and lectures at home. Which of the following best describes the concept of metacognition in lifelong learning? Option: the ability to learn multiple subjects simultaneously, the process of thinking about one's own thinking and learning processes, the tendency to prefer cognitive tasks over physical ones, the capacity to transfer learning from one context to another. Answer of this question is option B, that is the process of thinking about one's own thinking and learning process. The 10,000 hour rule, popularized by Malcolm, Malcolm Gladwell, suggests that it takes 10,000 hours to sleep to consolidate learning. Expertise in any field requires about 10,000 hours of deliberate practices. The human brain can only focus for a total of 10,000 hours in a lifetime. Lifetime learning should encompasses at least 10,000 hours of study. Answer of this question is option B, that is expert in any field requires about 10,000 hours of deliberate practice. Which of the following is not typically considered a characteristic of problem based learning? Option: self directed learning, collaborative learning, teacher centered instruction, real world problem solving. Answer of this question is option C, that is teacher centered instruction. The concept of neuroplasticity is important in lifelong learning because it suggests that learning is limited to a specific period in life. The brain can form new neural connections throughout life. Cognitive abilities peak in adulthood. Memory capacity is fixed from birth. Answer of this question is option B, that is the brain can form new neural connections throughout the life. Which of the following best describes The imposter syndrome in the context of lifelong learning. Option: the tendency to avoid learning new skill. The fear of being exposed as a fraud despite competent. The inability to apply learners learned skill in real world situation. The preference for theoretical knowledge over practical skills. Answer of this question is option B, that is the fear of being exposed as a fraud despite competence. The spacing effect in learning refers to, I think this is not related to this. Which of the following is not a typical characteristic of growth mindset as developed by Carol Dick? Option: embracing challenges, persisting in the face of setbacks, viewing efforts as the path of mastery, believing intelligence and talent are fixed traits. Answer of this question is option D, that is believing intelligence and talents are fixed traits. The Dunning-Kruger effect in a lifelong learning refers to option: the tendency of expert to underestimate their abilities, the cognitive bias where people with limited knowledge overestimate their competence, the phenomena where learning accelerates with age, the preference for practical skill over theoretical knowledge. Answer of this question is option B, that is the cognitive bias where people with limited knowledge overestimate their competence. Which of the following best describes micro learning in the context of lifelong education? Option: learning through microscopic examination of subjects, brief focused learning units designed for skill based learning, studying subject at a very detailed level, learning only the smallest, most essential part of a subject. Answer of this question is option B, that is brief, focused learning units designed for skill based learning. The concept of scaffolding in education refers to option: building physical structure for learning, temporary support provided to help learners achieve new understandings, creating a rigid structure for curriculum design, the use of construction metamorphs in teaching. Answer of this question is option B, that is temporary support provided to help learners achieve new understanding. Which of the following is not typically considered one of the main types of learning style in the Bhark model? Option: visual, auditory, emotional, kinesthetic. Answer of this question is option C, that is emotional. The Peter principle in lifelong learning and career development suggests that people tend to rise to the to their level of incompetence in a hierarchy. Learning should be focused on area of natural talent. Practical skills are more valuable than theoretical knowledge. Leadership skills are the most important in any profession. Answer of this question is option A, that is people tend to rise to their level of incompetence in a hierarchy. Which of the following no, this is from psychology. The cognitive representative, this is from psychology. Hmm. The concept of communities of practice in lifelong learning refers to option: neighborhoods with high concentration of educational institutions, groups of people who share a concern or a passion for something they do and learn how to do it better, online forums dedicated to specific academic subjects, professional associations that provide continuing education credits. Answer of this question is option B, that is groups of people who share a concern or passion for something they do and learn how to do it better.